Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of Should You Upgrade from Blu-ray to 4K, The Goonies from 1988. I'm your host, Alex Figueroa, and my co-host is...
Nate from Netflix Review.
If you guys are watching on YouTube, please hit that like button, hit those notification bells so every time we go live, whether it's Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, and of course some Saturdays in the morning, you guys will be notified. Or when our movie reviews drop and our 4K disc reviews drop. Also, again, anything that drops, you guys will be notified. And again, if you guys are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button so you can support the channel. All right, Nate, so how long has it been since you've seen The Goonies?
Not that long, because I love this movie. I watch it. I watch it all the time. I want to say almost annually, maybe biannually. So but this is the first time I put in this 4K. So let's see how it goes.
All right. So for those of you that want to score with us on these 4K disc reviews, all you got to do is know these categories, and they are video quality, audio quality, extra features, packaging, overall, total points, and then at the end, we ask you that question: should you upgrade from Blu-ray to 4K? So with that said, guys, and again, if you guys have this transfer already, please let us know in the comments below, whether it's score or by just typing it out on the comment, what you guys thought of the Goonies from 1988 4K transfer. So with that said, Nate, let's get right into it with video quality. What you think?
Video quality. So I put this in, and I'm like, I'm not expecting much, to be honest. And this is going to be, my score here is going to be pretty similar to the one we did last week for Beetlejuice. I'm giving it a 4.5. Now, the transfer is fantastic. It is fantastic. It's a great transfer. The 0.5, and this is a personal grading system me and Alex have already talked about. For me, there's a couple of things that don't necessarily translate super well to 4K with this movie. And it's the fact that, one, it's kind of soft as far as the film itself. The focus is a little soft, which doesn't necessarily look amazing in 4K. That's number one. And number two is the movie's dark. You know what I mean? Like, it's always cloudy. It's always raining outside. And then the rest of the time they're in caves. So with that being said, this transfer is amazing. This is the best it's ever looked. It's not even close. I had the Blu-ray. This is leagues ahead of the Blu-ray. Nice film grain, nothing intrusive. The colors, even though it's kind of drab, early on, like the greens when they're outside the trees, and it looks great. It's a great transfer. Visual quality of the film, good. 4.5. It's just under a 5 for me.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I'm not going to give this a perfect. After watching this movie, and I remember watching this, and I was like, wait a minute. You're right. It's very natural. It's not a very colorful movie. It's a very natural camera shot, if you really want to. Nice sceneries, a lot of great sceneries. But that 0.5, I didn't give it that perfect, is because even when they find One-Eye Willie's ship, that is blurry. I mean, I don't know about you, Nate, when you saw it, but on my OLED, that did not look as crispy, the boat. For me,
it's that soft focus that I was talking about. Yeah. It doesn't translate super well.
It did not work well for me. Again, I'm not being very nitpicking, but we have to, because we're being kind of honest with this stuff. So that for me didn't work as well. Certain other things, but even when it's on the water, it didn't look as crispy. Some scenes it did. Yeah. Like it did capture the boat. But yeah, it's very natural. Their shirts are very good, like Chunk's sweater, red. That red was popping. Yeah. So you could see a lot of the elements looking clear. They sharpened it a lot. They they did a lot of good color grading to keep that natural feel of it. And the film grain looked really good on it. So I agree with you on this. I gave it a 4.5. I was not going to go with the perfect. I went with the 4.5 on this. So, and
I'm going to agree with you. They did a good job with the color grading. They did change it. They did kind of clean it up. It looks really, really good. It looks as good as it could, is what I would say. I don't think it could get better than this. And as is, it's a 4.5.
Yeah. So let's get right into audio quality.
All right. So audio, I had to look this up because I had no idea what it was. It is a 5.1 mix. It's not a Dolby Atmos or anything like that. It's good. It's good. There are parts that sound really good. Like there's a scene early on in the movie, if you guys are familiar, which you should be, where they're in the attic and there's like a thunderstorm going on, and it sounds amazing. Like it sounded like there was a thunderstorm in my room. You know what I mean? Like really rumbly bass. But then there's other times where it sounds, I don't know what's the word for it. I don't want to say echoey, but they sound kind of far. You could understand the dialogue all the time, but it just doesn't sound as good as some other ones I've heard. It's also, the bass is good. The music sounds good. It's good, overall good. I gave it a 4. It's not amazing. It's not a 5. Maybe if it was an Atmos track where they can bump up certain things, but as is, I thought it was good.
Yeah, in terms of audio, I wasn't too crazy with it. To be honest with you, they did sound good, and I totally understand what you're talking about in terms of sound in certain scenes. And the word I think you were looking for is thin. Because there was certain parts in the movie that was very thin. And I was like, wow, they didn't add bass here. Like, it was just like no bass when they're like walking and I know a lot of people are going to come out and they're going to say, oh yeah, but why would you put bass in X, Y, and Z? But it didn't have like that fullness. I guess that's where we're trying to get to, right?
It didn't
like, they
always
didn't have that.
fill the room.
Yeah. But the surround sounds do sound pretty good. Like, even the back speakers and everything sounds clear. It sounds good, but it's very thin at points. And I think that's what Nate was trying to go with. And I agree with him. I gave it a 4 also. It's a 4. It's a 5.1. Okay.
Yeah.
If it was a Dolby Atmos, I think it would have fixed it up because they would have gave it that whole bassy and try to fill it up as much as they could. But again, I gave it a 4, and they gave us a 4. All right, let's get to extra features.
Extra features, kind of whack. I'm not gonna lie. And you know what? I think this is not as bad as Beetlejuice, but it's not way better. There is a commentary track. I know people who are fans of commentary tracks. There's a commentary track with Richard Donner, the director. It's a good track. I'm not a big commentary guy, but I've heard bits and pieces in the past because I had the Blu-ray. Other than that, it's a few little like kind of fluff features. Here's the thing. They're all on the Blu-ray. Not a single feature on the 4K. Not a commentary track, not a behind the scenes, not a trailer, nothing. It's just the movie, which is fine. If you're going to put a Blu-ray full of features, then it's great. If you're going to put a Blu-ray with just a little bit, I gave it a 2. A little bit disappointing as far as features go.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I agree with you. I was going through the 4K and I'm like, you mean to tell me this is nothing on this disc? And I was like, okay, whatever. And then I put on the Blu-ray and I was going to go through the list and I'm like, all right. I mean, they do give you more than Beetlejuice. Yes. That I'm going to say. And I think I gave Beetlejuice a 2. If I'm mistaken. I think I gave it a 2 for extra features when we did it. And I thought this had more than Beetlejuice. So I was like, okay, now they have the making of Goonies featurette, which I was like, okay, that's pretty good for people that enjoy the making of. It has outtakes. So it has like 6 extra features on the Blu-ray. But if you own the Blu-ray, you already got it, technically. But if you're
nothing new.
Yeah, but if you're in 4K, and which I always praise about, you got to give me something in the 4K disc, which they didn't. With that said, I gave it a 3 for good. For those of you that don't have the Blu-ray and have this 4K and you got yourself, you know what I mean? Like, you got something. But for those of you that have the Blu-ray and, like me, we already own the Blu-rays, technically this is nothing for us, but I had to give it a score, but I gave it a 3. I think it's a good extra features. All right, so let's get into packaging.
All right, so you're going to see it in the little box over here. We're going to have a nice little unboxing for you. But this is, we have the steelbook. Me and Alex both. This is the steelbook. Goonies Never Say Die on the front. Nice little, the pendant thing in the back. You know what? There's also a slipcover version of this. It's a good-looking slipcover. I've seen it. It looks nice. And there's an Amazon exclusive version that comes like in a treasure box with a map. And y'all already know. If you have 3 options, including a nice-looking steelbook, a good-looking slip, and some kind of exclusive, I got to give it a 5. You have options, and options are key when it comes to packaging, in my opinion. If you're a steelbook collector, there's a steelbook. If you're a slipcover guy, guess what we got? A slipcover. If you're a collector's edition person, there is one of those. So, you know what? Across the board, they hit the nail on the head, in my opinion. I give it a 5.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because with packaging for this Goonies movie, I did it just solely on this black cover. I know you do it for like all the other editions. I'm just going to do it for this version of Steelbook. I'm going to give this a 4. It's a nice cover. It's a great, I mean, I think they could have did a better job. Like they could have gave it like a treasure looking map or something.
Just a skull and crossbones.
Yeah, just a skull and some stuff. And like the Beetlejuice looked really nice because it had the green and purple popping. It had, Beetlejuice standing there, and it had
also,
some stuff.
No disc art. It's just black.
It's just black, yeah. So with that said, look, it's like I like it. It's a very good steel book, but it's not a perfect for me. But again, if you're a Goonies fan, this is perfect for you. This will be amazing. You'll give it a 5. But for me, I'm going to give it a 4 because I wanted to see something more cooler than what we got here. So with that, I gave it a 4. Nate gave it a 5. Let's go with the overall entire Goonies
and quick note,
stuff.
If you bought the 4K, if you go to FYE, they have an exclusive steelbook that's way better. It's very, very nice, the artwork, and it's like $12. You could put your 4K disc in that steelbook, and you'll have it, you'll be good to go. As far as if you're a steelbook, artwork person. But anyway, okay, overall, I gave this a 4 out of a 5. I think it has really good video, almost great, but this movie just doesn't necessarily scream 4K in my opinion. Audio is pretty good. Features are very bland, the same stuff that's already been out. Great packaging options. I gave it a 4.
Yeah, I agree with you. I gave it a 4 also. I don't think this is a perfect, as an entire package, I don't think it's perfect because it was missing that Dolby Atmos soundtrack for me. It doesn't have to be the highest coding, but to me, it needs to be Dolby Atmos. If you're going to start pumping these 4Ks out, you got to give us Dolby Atmos sound. Like, you got to remaster the entire thing. So with that said, I mean, come on, dude. Freaking Mad Max has Dolby Atmos. Like, this one doesn't.
Max.
Yeah. So.
And they did remaster. This is a new 5.1, but it's still a 5.1.
Yeah.
If you're going to do a new track, you may as well
go full throttle.
It's weird.
Yeah, go the whole way.
You didn't put no features on the disc. It ain't like you didn't have the space.
Pretty much. Look, with that said, again, if you are a Goonies fan, this could be it for you. But for me, this is a 4 out of 5. Nate gave it a 4 out of 5. Total points, my friend. What did you give it?
19.5. Yeah, 19.5 out of 25. It's a good score. It's a high score. But yeah, that's my total.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I gave it a 19.5 also. Weird. Yep. I mean, it's weird. It's very weird. But
because I was 1 point higher on the packaging, and you were 1 point higher on the features, so we came out on even.
Yeah, so pretty much it's a 19. We both were seeing eye to eye on this, and the total points on the Goonies. Yep. Packaging an entire film, the way the video, the audio looks. But the question is, for those of you that got the Blu-ray version and want to get that nice 4K transfer, the question is, should you upgrade? Nate, what is your answer?
Okay, so this one is, I won't say it's hard. I will say this. The overall package, we gave it good scores. It's a good package. The question is it way upgrade over Blu-ray? And the answer is yes. But not because this 4K is incredible. It's because the Blu-ray's kind of trash. I remember that Blu-ray's not very good.
Yeah.
So by means of this being, it is far superior. I will say, yes, it's worth an upgrade. It's only $20 still for the 4K version of it. As far as I've seen, $19.95. It's a good price point. Absolutely worth an upgrade, yes.
Yeah, I mean, normally everyone knows I'll say absolutely yes when it's like a super perfect transfer.
Yeah.
This, I'm just gonna say yes. It's a decent. No, it's not decent. Like Nate said, it's a great transfer of the film, but I wish they gave it an Dolby Atmos soundtrack and freaking extra features in the 4K disc, and then I would have gave it an absolutely yes. But for right now, there's 2 yeses, so that's a 2 thumbs up from us. Guys, get yourself the Goonies in 4K, whether Steelbook, Amazon Treasure Chest, or yourself the Best Buy regular slipcover version of the Goonies. Nate, you know what to do from here.
All right. So guess what, guys? This is, we got a couple at the end of the month here, our last 2 4K reviews. We got some new to 4K. We've been covering some old bases here, but we should be having a review for Godzilla upcoming 2014 in 4K. And also an all-time classic, The 10 Commandments. I've never seen it. So I have to watch the whole entire movie because I've never seen it. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing that in 4K. But that's going to close out our month here.
Yeah, so there you have it. If you want to follow us in our social media accounts, follow Nate over on Instagram at NateFlixReviews, or check out his podcast with him and his friends called Nate Netflix movie reviews over on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever you listen to your podcasts on. Anything Levels of Geeks, you can visit our website, www.levelsofgeeks.com, where we have movie reviews of the actual 4K disc reviews that we do. Nate writes them. We put it up on the website the day that the video releases. We have actual videos and audios of our podcast up on the website. We have the merch store for you guys, and we're going to start adding more sections with the new edition of shows that we have, whether it's the Horror Hour with me and Ralph, or Good Morning Gotham, our DC-based show early in the morning with me and BX Lenny Jimmy. That's going to be going up on the website also. So with that said, guys, if you want to follow us on any other platforms, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, it's all Levels of Geeks across the board from there on in. Again, guys, I'm your host, Alex Figueroa, and that is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
Be awesome to each other and geek out.